So let me give the name as data flow package. Okay, let me give the name as okay. Now let us drag and drop the first one, that is data flow task. So inside the data flow task, this is the heart of the SSIS, okay, where we can fetch the data from multiple sources and load it into a single destination. Okay, before loading the data, we can do some transformations, no? So let us go inside the data flow task. And let us see. Yeah, Abhishek, you can please mute from your side. Okay. So now first one is the aggregate. So you can see this is a list of transformations we have. We have list of sources and we have list of destinations. Now let us start with one by one. So I will go with one by one. So let us go with the aggregate transformation. So when we have to use this aggregate transformation, okay. So when you want to group the data, so when we will use the aggregate functions in SQL. So when you want to group the data, no. So similarly, okay, without writing any SQL query, we can apply these aggregation functions, okay, by taking the help of aggregate transformation. So let us see how we can apply the aggregates, okay, in SQL side first, and we will show in the SSIS next. Okay, so let me connect to this. So let me connect to one of the database. Okay, so in that database we have one table called okay EMPL master. Okay, now in this you can see we have one uh, city is there. Okay, city column is there, salary column is there. Okay, if I want to see the total salary I am paying to the employees, then what we will go and use, we will use the sum of salary. Okay, sum of salary, which will give me the total salary I am paying to the employees. Okay, as total. Okay, now I want to see the city wise total salary. Okay, I want to see the city wise total salary. So in this table we have one column called employee city column is there, no? So in this table if I want to see the city wise total salary, so apart from this salary column we have one more column called EMP city is there. Okay, so you can see along with salary column we have the city column also is there. Now I want to see the city wise total salary, then we'll go and write a query like CMP city comma sum of salary, and we will use the group by function. Group by, okay, EMP city. Since we need to see the city wise total, we will write a query like this. Okay, so which will give me the city wise total salary I am paying to the employees. Okay, now in order to achieve this, okay, so the same thing we can achieve in the SSIS, okay, by using the aggregate transformation. Okay, so here we don't need to write a query. Okay, we just need to specify the source. Let us see. My source is, let us say your source data is coming from SQL table, no? Then select this as source as OLEDB source. Okay, so here if you go and see, so your source data is coming from DB-SAI4 database, no? So let us create a connection to the database. Click on new. So click on new. So my SQL server name is balaji-pc. So you already know that my SQL server name is balaji-pc. Now let us go to this and specify the server name as balaji-pc. Okay, and in that let us select the database name as dbsai4. Okay, test connection. Okay, now I have created a connection to the database. Okay, in that database, which table data you want to pass it as source? So I have my table name is table underscore employee master. No, so this is the table. No, let me select. Let me pass that as. Okay, so it will show the list of tables present in the database. So you can go and select our table name. So table underscore empl underscore master. This is our table name, and you can go on preview if you want to preview the data. So this is the data. Okay, now click on OK. Now pass this table data as a source to the aggregate transformation. Now if you go on if you don't double click on this, here we don't need to write a query. Okay, so first of all, what you want to show, you want to show sum of salary. No, now let us select sum of salary. Okay, now you can see we have for the salary column we have the sum of salary. Okay, and you want to know the city wise sum of salary. No, just to select that column, that's it. Okay, so now you can see it will group the data by city wise. Okay, sum of salary, that's it. You need to just select the columns, no need to write any queries. Okay, so it will apply the aggregate function. After applying the aggregate function, do you want to put it into any other output? Yes, I want to push the data into one of the destination. So let us take any one of the destination. Let me take flat file destination. So I want to put the output in a text file or CSV file. So I want to push the output into the flat file destination. So you can go and have, okay, which file, where you want to save, okay, and what is the separator you want to see. Okay, so this delimiter means nothing but, so your output contains, this is the output, no, this is the output, no, you will, after aggregating you will get this output. Okay, so how you want to save this? So here we have two columns. So here you can see the columns are delimited by commas. If I select the first one, so your column values will be delimited by comma, like Bangalore comma salary, like this. Suppose if you open any text file, if you go and see the desktop, if you go and open any text file, okay, you can see, so this is the column names, employee name and branch it. How these values are, column values are separated, 1 comma Mohan comma 200 means these column values are separated by comma separator. Okay, and how the rows are separated? So after the first row there is a new line character. Okay, so new line character means next line. Okay, so the rows are separated by new line character and column values are separated by commas. So that is what it is asking now. So you want to push the data into one of the text file. Now, how the column values need to be separated? Expect the last one which is delimited by the new line character. The column values will be separated by commas except the last column which will be delimited by the new line character. Okay, or do you want to go for fixed with row delimiters? Means tab space. The columns are defined by fixed width. An extra column delimited by the new line character is added to the row, is added to define the row delimiters. So based upon your requirement, you can select these options. Ragged right means the columns are defined by fixed width means tab. Some tab difference will be there, except the last one which is delimited by the new line character. Okay, like this. So as per your requirement, so most of the times we will select the first one or the last one. Okay. Now let us go for first one. Click on OK. Okay, I will show you all the types. Don't worry. Okay. So now we have selected the separator. Now it will ask you that where is the location you want to store, and with which name you want to store the output. What is the file name? So let us give the file name as, okay. So let us give the connection name as aggregate file connection. Okay, this is the connection name. Okay, and let us browse. So let us see, let us create one folder for our class query class files. So let us go for and create. So let us say SSIS underscore Abhishek. Okay. Okay, we have one folder. Okay. So let me remove all those. Okay. Okay. Now let me create a text call. Let us use city wise. Okay. Salary. Okay. Dot txt file. Okay. Click on OK. So in this location, I want to create a file with this name citywise salary.txt. Do you want column names in the first row? Yes, I want column names in the first row. That's it. Okay. Now go to the mappings, map your aggregate output columns and the text file columns. Okay. So this is the columns going to create in the text file. That's it. Okay. So we have we have selected the source and send it to the aggregate transformation, and here we have selected I require the sum of salary. Okay. So once you select the salary column, we can select the aggregate type. Okay, we can see average is there, sum is there, minimum is there, max is there. All the aggregate functions are here. We can select sum, whichever you want. And do you want the city wise salary? No? Just select the city column and click on group by. That's it. And later we are pushing the data into one of the text file destination. Now right click and click on execute task. Now we can see that, so it will apply that aggregate function on that source and it will push the data into the destination. Today it is little bit slow, little bit. Okay, now we can see that. So it has received 18 rows and aggregated, and final output we are getting 8 rows. Now let us see whether it is matching with the SQL output or not. Now you can see when I go and group the data, how many records we are getting. So we are getting only 7 records here. Okay, 7 city information. But in SSIS, we can go and see. So it is showing me 8 records output. So let me see what is that. So let us go to our F drive folder. Okay. So let me go for SSIS Abhishek. Okay. Okay. Now let us go for city wise salary. Okay. So now you can see that. Okay. So we are getting 8 rows, 4 and 4. Okay, but if you observe, Bangalore, it is showing two types with capital B Bangalore and small b Bangalore. Okay, so there is two records for Bangalore, but in SQL side there is only one record and it is showing 57,000. And here in SSIS in text file output you can see, so one is with 50,000 and another one with 7,000. Okay, so actually in data, in your table data, if you see, there will be, okay, so now you can see one is with a small b Bangalore, another one is with capital B Bangalore. Okay, so because of that, but SQL is not case sensitive, so that's why it has treated both small b and capital B as same. So SQL is not case sensitive, but SSIS is a case sensitive. So it will treat small b as well as capital B as differently. Okay, so that's why we got two multiple records for Bangalore, two records for Bangalore since SSIS is case sensitive. But my customer told me that no, Krishna, we have to show it as single record only. Then how we can resolve that? Okay, so in order to make sure, in order to avoid that case sensitivity, what we can do is, so for this employee city, for the string columns, okay, we can see we have one more column called comparison flags is there. Okay, so you can go and see that you can see we have an option called ignore case option is there. Okay, so ignore case option means it will ignore the case sensitivity, so it will treat both Bangalore capital B and small b Bangalore as same case. Okay, so this option is available only for string data, so city emp name only for string data, but for integer data that option is not available. Okay, now let us see what how the output will be generated. Okay, now before pushing the data output, if you want to see the result, we can double click on this arrow and we have data viewer option is there. We can click on enable data viewer. Okay, this will show you the output, okay, before pushing the data into the destination file. Now let me execute the task. So now you can see that we are getting 7 rows here. So in the output, if you go and see, we are getting the 7 rows here, and now you can see Bangalore is coming only one time, that is 57,000. Okay, rows displayed is 7. Okay, so this is just to view the output, and after viewing, the actual data is pushed into the destination file. Now if you go and see the destination, double click on it, you can see only 7 records are there, and you can see the column values are separated by commas. Okay, now you can see Bangalore is coming only one time, 57,000. Okay, so inside the aggregate function we can specify that, okay, whether to ignore the case or not, like this. Okay, suppose my customer, okay, immediately after seeing the city-wise salary, so he asked me, okay, so in this table we have one more column called branch ID column also is there. My customer wants to see the branch wise salary. Okay, then what we will do usually, so we'll go and write a query. So if he wants the branch wise salary, what we will do, select star from, we'll go and write branch ID, select branch ID comma sum of salary. Okay, from this table, so we'll go and write a query like this. Okay, from table underscore empl master. Okay, group by, okay, branch ID. So you will group it based on branch ID, which will give me the branch wise salary. Okay, now in SSIS, if I want to show the branch wise salary, how I can go? So whether I need to take one more aggregate transformation, or I can handle using a single aggregate transformation. Okay, so for grouping branch wise data, so do I require one more aggregation, or inside the same aggregation can I handle it? Yes, we can handle it inside the same aggregation. How means, let us go and see. So let me remove that extra one. Now inside this aggregate transformation, so we have an option called advanced option is there. Okay, so let us click on that advanced option. Now you can see there is one more row is coming, and under that below the EMP city we can see we have one more row is coming. Now let us give some name to this row. Let us say branch wise salary. Okay, now you can see as soon as I given the name, this is getting enabled. If I don't give the name to the second row, okay, earlier it was disabled. Now let me cancel it. Now let us go and open it one more time. So if we go and see, so if I don't give the name, it is getting disabled. Once I enter the name, now you can see it is getting enabled. Okay, now let me write branch wise. Let me give the output name as branch wise salary. Now you can see we have the, if you want to see the branch wise salary, let us select the branch ID column and salary column. That's it. Okay, now you can see we have branch wise salary. Under this you can go and select whether sum of salary. Okay, now let us give for the city column, for the city grouping, let us give the aggregate name as city wise salary. Okay, so now you can see if I select this, it will show you the selected on city wise salary. If I select the second row, it is showing the branch wise salary. Okay, like that I can include n number of pipelines, not only two, I can include n number. Okay, 10, 20 as per your requirement. Okay, now that's it. Click on OK. Now you can see there is one more arrow is coming. Okay, so which is related to the branch wise salary. Now let me push that into one more flat file. Go to the flat file, go to the destination folder, select the flat file destination. Okay, now we can click on it. Now you can see, get the second arrow and put it into this. Now here you can see it has given the name as city wise salary and branch wise salary. So it is giving two pipelines, no? So city wise and branch wise. Now let us locate where you want to save this data. Now let me create a new connection. Now let us select the last one, ragged right, and let us see the difference. Okay, now after selecting the difference, let it locate. So let me give the connection name as, okay, branch output connection. Okay, go to this, browse. So in the same folder under the same F drive SSIS Abhishek, I want to create one branch wise, okay, salary, okay, .txt file. Okay, now do you want column names? Yes, I want column names. Okay, and click on OK. Okay, and go to the mappings. Map your branch wise salary, branch column, and salary column. That's it. Okay, now if I go and execute this, if you want to see the data viewer, you can include the data viewer also. So now you can see, so this is the old one, salary, city wise salary. Okay, now you can see 4 rows are pushed into this branch wise salary. Okay, now you can go to this your folder. Okay, SSIS Abhishek. So now you can see branch wise salary text file is also there. Now you can see branch ID salary, and this is the 4 records. In your SQL also we have 4 records. Okay, so branch ID 4, 5,757,000. Okay, and you can see ragged right means a tab space, equal tab space is there, and the rows and the last column is separated by new line character. Okay, so earlier delimiter means comma separator. Now this is ragged right means you can see every column is separated by tab space. Okay, like this. Okay, so understood. Like this, if you want to include one more pipeline, you can go to this and go to the advanced section. Okay, and you can have one more pipeline. If you click on it, one more pipeline is coming like this. Okay, any doubts up to now? Or if you want to push this, no, Krishna, I want to put it in a Excel file. Okay, instead of text file, every time in text file, if you want to put it in a Excel file. Okay, now let us see. Let me delete that. Okay, I have only two files in this folder. Suppose if you want to push the data into Excel file, that also you can do. So you can remove this destination and you can select Excel destination. Okay, so you can put the branch wise salary, okay, in an Excel file, and you just need to create a connection to that Excel file. That is, creating connection is just locating where you want to store. So under the same SSIS Abhishek, so let us say I want to create salary, okay, branch wise. Okay, now if you don't give, it will go and have this one of this extension. First one is XLS, so it will go and create a XLS file for us. Do you want the first row contains, do you want the column names in the first row? Yes. Go to the mappings. And in this file, we have to, under that Excel file, we will store the data in Excel sheet, no? So what is the sheet name you want? So let me create a new connection and let us give the sheet name as branch underscore salary. Okay. And it is going to create two columns, branch ID and salary. That's it. So let me have that single quotes. Let me copy this. Okay. So it will have two versions. One is with dollar value and another one is without dollar value. So better to always select the Excel sheet name should be always appended with the dollar values. So better to select the same thing here. If you
So
select,
what's the reason, sir?
so when you download the data from Excel to SQL table, no? So always the
Hmm.
dollar value will be appended. Okay.
Yes, sir. That
Another
I have
one,
seen in
yes,
SQL.
yes. Another one is like a shadow. Okay. So like a copy or a shadow thing. Okay, so if you select that one also, if you select another one also, it won't throw you an error, but better to select always the dollar version. If I select this one
So
also,
why is the reason like only in Excel we have one will be the original one and one will be the copy one, but if we find in that text file, which is a WordPad file, so we don't find this kind of things, sir.
yes, only for Excel files. So there is a like a, it will contain the Unicode format of data, no? So Excel always holds the Unicode format of data, means it won't store the integer as integer, it will store the integer as float. So here also, if you can see, here, when it is creating a table, no, it has created as float. I will show you one more time. So let me delete it. Now let me take this one. So when it is coming inside, what is the values for the, what is the data types of these columns are? If you go and see, we are getting the branch ID and salary, no? So it, you can see here DTI4. I4 means data type integer. Okay, and it is DTI8 means this is like a integer with big int. So this is small int and this is big int kind. I8 means I4 and I8 are integer values. Okay, but When you create a, you can see here under the same Excel manager, okay, let me create a new sheet. Let us say, you can see here branch ID and salary. So it has taken as, instead of integer, it has taken a long, and I8 it has taken it as decimal. Okay, so it won't store integer as a integer, it will store the integer value as float or long. Now you can see it has stored it as long. Means this is the Unicode format of data. It will convert the data type into Unicode. Okay, so if you declare in SQL Server, if you declare varchar, it will take varchar of 10, means in the memory it will allocate 10 bytes of memory. Okay, if you declare nvarchar is a Unicode format. If you declare nvarchar of 10, it will allocate 20 bytes of memory. Okay, so some extra memory, copy of the memory, it will keep it. So because of that reason, so it is having Excel file, it is having multiple copies, one copy. Suppose if you go and see, if I create a table, so create table, so let us say table underscore s1. Okay, now if I create emp name as varchar of 10, okay, and emp city as nvarchar. Nvarchar means Unicode format. Okay, so in Excel file, okay, always contains the Unicode format of it. Excel will allow, first of all, it will allow only the nvarchar form, only the Unicode format. Unicode format means nchar, nvarchar, float, okay, all those things. Now you can see if I create a table like this, okay, both I have created with 10 cells only, okay, 10 bytes of memory. But if you go and see inside the memory how much space it has allocated for these two columns. Okay, now you can see table underscore s1, employee name varchar, how much length, varchar of 10. Okay, we have given 10. While creating the table, we are given as 10. So it has allocated 10 spaces, 10 bytes of memory. But for nvarchar, you can see even though we have given 10, it has allocated some 20 bytes of memory. Okay, so for each cell to capture, it will have a 2 bytes of memory. So similarly here also, if you are storing the data in Excel file, okay, if you are storing the data in Excel file, okay, so I'm giving this, let us say table Excel underscore branch, okay, I'm giving the name as Excel underscore branch. So it has taken 2 copies now. Okay, so like in nvarchar, it is giving a multiple, no, so like that here also it is creating one more copy of the cell. Okay, so this will contains the Unicode format of data. Dollar version will contain the Unicode format. Okay, now let us go and execute this. So Excel file is always a special file, okay, which will allow only the Unicode formats. So that's why it is available in 2 copies. Okay, now you can see this is the city-wise salary and branch-wise salary is pushed into the Excel file destination. Now we can go on to this, let us say salary underscore branch-wise Excel as. So you can see it will have maybe 2 Excel sheets. Let us see. So now you can see Excel underscore branch is there. Now this is the one we have created second time and the data is pushed into this. Okay, so understood. Okay, so this is how the aggregate transformation will work like this. Okay, you don't need to write a query, you can just use the transformation. Okay, so let me rename it as aggregate transformation. Now let us go for one more thing. So let us go for next one, next transformation. Let us go for data flow task one more time. Now the next one is conditional split. Okay, as the name suggests, if you want to split the data based on some condition. Okay, so here in SQL Server, if you want to split the data on any condition, what we will do? So we'll go and write a query. Let us say select star from table underscore employee master. So this is your table name. Okay, now I want to see whose salary value is greater than 10,000. Okay, so whose salary value is greater than 10,000 or 25,000. Let me take whose salary value. So if I want to say, I will write a condition like where salary value is greater than 25,000. Okay, so total records, how many records are there total? We have 18 records total, and the records matching this condition is we have 10 records whose salary is greater than 25,000. Okay, now if I want to write the same query, if I want to achieve this in SSIS side, what I can do is I can use this conditional split. What it will do is, so I will pass the data. So let us take your SQL source data is present in the SQL file, no? SQL table, no? Then select the source type as OLEDB source. Okay, now so your table is present in the DBSI4. So either you can select it from the available list, okay, like this. So it will populate all the tables present in the database. And if you feel there are so many tables, okay, you are taking so much time to search, then if you know the table name, you can see we have an option called under the data access mode, we have an option called SQL command is. So you can go and write a command like this. Select star from table underscore. What is your table name? My table name is EMPL master. Click on. You can just write a select statement for the table and it will execute the query and show you the data. Okay. Now my source data is ready. Now you can see we have the list of columns. Okay. Now you want to see the list of employees. Okay. So I have passed the input column names to this conditional split. Okay. Now you can see all those columns are shown here. Now what you want to do, you want to split the data based upon the salary, no? So you want to separate this table data and you want to see whose salary is greater than 25,000, no? You can just go and write salary greater than 25,000. So you just need to drag and drop that column, that's it. Okay, so now you can see one more time. You can write a condition here. Just you want to write a condition on the salary column, no? Just drag and drop it. And you can write the condition like salary greater than 25,000. Okay, so for this record set output, it will give some output made. Okay, so let us give the output name as, okay, salary greater 25,000. Output name as salary greater 25k or 25,000. Okay, like this. And the records which are not satisfying this condition. So if I go and execute this, out of 18 records, this is my 18 records total. When I execute this condition with salary greater 25,000, only 10 records are coming here. And what about the remaining records? Okay, so in SSIS we have a facility like, okay, so this is the record set which satisfies, that is 10 records will go into this pipeline. The remaining records, the remaining 8 records will come into this default output. Okay, so the records which are not matching that condition, okay, all those records will be pushed into this default output pipeline. So let us give the name as salary, okay, less than 25,000, okay, 25k or whatever you want. Okay, okay, so I have given the name like this. Now Based upon the condition, this conditional split will split the data into two pipelines. Okay, so now we can see I want to push the data, one output into Excel file and another output into flat file. Okay, so when I drag that arrow, you can see it will give us two outputs. One is salary greater 25,000, one is salary less than 25,000. Okay, now the remaining output I want to put into this flat file. So now you can see that. Okay, now let me go and locate our flat file. So where you want to store, let us go and create a new connection. So what is that separator you want? Okay, let me select the delimiter one. So let us give the connection name as, okay, salary. Okay, salary less than 25k. Okay, 25k connection, just a connection name. Okay, now let us browse where you want to store. In the same folder I want to store what is the name, salary less than, okay, 25k. It is going to create a text file output. Do you want column names in the first row? Yes, click on OK. Okay, go to the mappings. It will map your input columns and the output columns. Click on OK. Okay, now let us go for Excel file destination. Let us locate it. Now in the same file, so we can create it under an extra sheet. No, we can go for the same file. So whatever file we have created already. Okay, so this is the file we have created a salary branch wise. In the same Excel file, I want to create a separate sheet for this data. Okay, let me click on new. So let us say salary. Okay, let us give the sheet name as salary underscore greater 25,000. Okay, now you can see that it is going to create a Unicode format of data. Okay, so let us select the salary greater $25,000 version. Go to the mappings, click on OK. Okay, that's it. But still you can see that there is some into mark in the Excel destination. What is that? What is that means? As I told you that Excel always allows the Unicode format of data. No, if I go and see this metadata of the input file. So now for integers, no problem. Okay, it will automatically convert them into long or float. But there is a problem with str files for the string files. Okay, and there is no problem for date files also. Date and integer values, I4 means integer. Okay, so date and integer values has no problem in conversion. Okay, but there is a problem for str fields. Okay, now we can go and see. If I put my mouse here, so it is showing that a column name emp name cannot convert between Unicode and non-Unicode string data types. So it is not allowing the employee name data type. Employee name is DTSTR. So it is asking us to convert into Unicode format, to convert into NVARCHAR type. Okay. So right now it is coming it as varchar type. It has to be converted into NVARCHAR type. How to do that? Okay. So in order to do that, what we have to do is, okay, we have one more transformation called data conversion is there. You can see we have a transformation called data conversion, especially for to convert the data types from one format to another format. Let us go to this, put the initial data in the data conversion. So there is a problem for employee name. Now let us go for employee name. Now here you can see it is coming it as string and it is not accepting that. No, we have to convert this into Unicode format of string, that is DTWSTR. So Excel accepts only this Unicode format of data. Okay. After converting, it is giving some alias name. Okay, new name. Let us give the new name as, let us change the new name also as converted employee name. Okay. So we have, earlier it was coming it as str, we have converted to Unicode string format WSTR, and we have just given a new name to that. Now go to this. Now open this Excel file. Go to the mappings. So here employee name. Now we have converted into. We have created one more column called converted employee name. Let us map that one. Okay, remove the old one. Let us map the new column. Okay, but still it is showing some error. Let us see what is that. Now you can see it is showing it for not for employee name. It is now it is showing for EMP city. So there is a problem for EMP city also. So now you can go and see now input one. So here EMP city also has coming it as str, gender also str, designation also str. Okay, now we have to do that for all the string columns. Now let us go do the data conversion for EMP city. Let it convert it to WSTR format. Let me give some new name. You can give the old name also, no problem. Okay, you can keep the name as it is copy of employee city like. And branch ID integer. Now you can see as I told you, DTI4 means 4-byte signed integer. Okay, for this not required. Now let us go for gender. Let me convert it to WSTR and let us give the name as converted. Okay, and we have one more column designation. So this is also str. This is not accepted by Excel. Let us convert this into Unicode format. Okay, that's it. Converted employee designation. Okay, after doing the conversion, go to your Excel destination, go to the mappings. So remove the old mapping, replace with new column mapping. Similarly, gender, replace with new column mapping. Designation, replace with converted designation new mapping. So now we can see that, okay, that into what is gone. Now it will able to push the data into the Excel destination. Now you can go and execute this task. So it will, this conditional split will separate the data based upon your condition. It will separate the data into two pipelines. Okay, now you can see. So it has separated the data into two pipelines based upon your condition. So this, with this condition, there are 10 records is satisfying, no? So there are 10 records here with salary greater than 25,000 in your SSIS also. You can go and see. So with this 20 records are there and the remaining records, remaining 8 records are pushed into this flat file destination. Now we can go and check, cross check. So salary branch wise, let me open the Excel file again. So we have salary greater 25,000. So now you can see that all the 10 records are pushed into this. Okay, so whose salary is greater than 10,000, whose salary is greater than 10,000. And if you go and see, so if you go and see, we have salary less than 25k is there, no? You can go and see the remaining 8 records will be pushed into this whose salary is less than, okay, 25,000, like this. So that is the basic use of this conditional split. Okay, based upon the condition, it will split the data into two pipelines. Okay, So in tomorrow class, we will see some more examples of conditional split. Okay, this is the basic example of conditional split, and we will see some more examples in this conditional split. Understood? Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, I will stop now. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.
Okay, sir, and also you can share